Hi, everyone. If you're just now joining us, we will be getting started right now. Looks like several folks are connecting, so we are going to get started here in just a few moments. If you are live streaming from Facebook, I do want to recommend sharing this video because this is going to be really great, and you're definitely going to want to have some families or your friends and family connecting, but it's going to be really great. And at this time, let's go ahead and get started. And again, if you are connecting from Facebook, welcome. For those of you interested in joining this presentation with Kim Lifton from the WOW Writing Workshop, then you can register online at accesscollegeamerica.org. My name is Dale Price. I'm the founder of Access College America, and we're a national provider for college planning guidance, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to our nationwide webinar. In just a few moments, I'll introduce our presenter, but first, I'd like to explain a few things. So grab a pen and paper because you will definitely want to take notes. Today's webinar will be recorded and put on the Access College America website, www.accesscollegeamerica.org. We recently revamped our website, and it now includes quick links for college planning, newsworthy updates for today's prospective college student, parent advice articles, a scholarship central page featuring over 100 scholarships, and so much more. The best part is it's all free, so be sure to check it out at accesscollegeamerica.org. Again, as I previously mentioned, and for those of you that are just now joining us, we're live streaming on Facebook. So if you're watching from Facebook, make sure that you give us a hashtag replay, share this with your friends and family, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment or question. And then again, for those of you that are watching from Zoom, you can go back and like this. Now you will also notice, I will, for those of you that are logged in right now on Zoom, submit your questions on Zoom. At any point in time, you can submit your questions on the Q&A box. And then for those of you live streaming, leave a question under the screen. And if time permits, we'll try to get to these at the very end. And at this time, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Kim Lifton, who's going to be talking about college essays that will get your child noticed. And Kim Lifton recently was named one of LinkedIn's top voices in education, and she's president of the WOW Writing Workshop, a strategic communication company staffed by experts who understand the writing process and the college admissions industry inside and out. Kim has been reporting the news, writing for business and nonprofits, and teaching students how to tell their stories for 3 decades. Kim's articles on the college essay and other topics appear in a variety of publications in print and on the web. And WOW has been leading the industry with their unique approach for communicating any message effectively for 10 years. They teach students how to write essays and how to train professionals who want to improve their essay writing processes. So at this point in time, I'd like to go ahead and hand the controls over to Kim, and Kim, take it away.
Wow, Dale, you're hired. That was awesome. Thank you so much, and I feel the same way about you, Dale. Before we start, I wanted to just give you a little background and answer a question that isn't in our PowerPoint tonight, but it's important that you, Mom and Dad, know that what the college essay is. And at its core, just keep this, if this is all you take away from tonight, I want you to know that the college essay is all about reflection. That's the key for your child to stand out where it matters most, which is inside the admissions office. So to help you get your child to reflect, what we do is we clarify mixed messages that confuse parents and students. And tonight I'm going to try really hard to help you make some sense out of all the noise that you hear, because this task does not have to be so daunting, and I'm well aware that it is. That's me with my hair straight. Usually it's curly. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 3 things. 1, how you can help your child. I'm going to give you WOW's top 5 tips through our top questions that we get asked, and I'm going to give you some resources to help you understand the writing process and how you can help your child. The top 5 list really comprises the top 5 questions that I get, that my partner and I get year after year, season after season, from parents just like you. And we have a very short time tonight, short window for questions. And what I want you to know is that if I do not get to your question tonight, all you have to do is email me. And my email is at the end of the presentation. It's kim@wowwritingworkshop.com. I respond to everything. And here we go. So how can you, mom and dad, how can you help your child? Top of the list is stay calm. If you've got a junior who's about to be a senior, or you've already got a rising senior, you're probably feeling that stress. So just hang tight, relax, stay calm. And if you need some meditation techniques, Dale and I can give you some. Second, talk to your child. Talk to your child about what's important to them. What are the strengths? What are the traits and characteristics that you see that are positive in your child? Talk to them about everything positive. Tell them what you like about them. Everything's positive. Teach your child how to reflect. If you can do that, the writing process is going to be a whole lot easier. And I'm going to give each of you tonight a free copy of the book that I wrote for parents, which has techniques inside of it that can help you to teach your child how to reflect. And a hint here is that it's an ongoing conversation that never has to stop. So we understand that nobody is more qualified for this job than you are. I mean, who knows your child better than you? Who would go to the moon and back for your child other than you? You've been preparing your child to become a successful adult since birth. So now it's time. It's really important. You don't tell your child what to write at all. It's got to come from inside of your child's head. And again, be positive. And the best expression throughout this process that you can hone in and keep saying to your child is to trust yourself. So here's one of the our top 5, number 1 on our list. How important is the college essay? So we could ask that question all the time. And it's a good question. And it depends. The more competitive a school is, and it's getting more and more difficult to get into the top, and I don't like the word top, let's say the most difficult to get into, the most selective schools in this country, it's getting harder and harder with every admissions cycle. We could do an entire program on why, but right now we're going to focus on how important the essay is for your child. So first, the most important are grades and the rigor of the curriculum. What that means is that the child's grades that's the most important thing, a 4-point, in the most challenging classes that your child can take. 2, like it or not, test scores. There are about 1,000 plus schools in this country that are right now going test optional. But don't think that any time in the future the test scores and tests are not going to be important. So number 1, grade and the rigor of curriculum, followed by test scores. And after that, on just about every list, the list that comes from the National Association of College Admission Counseling, which is like the government of the college, the watchdog group of the college admission industry, they say that the essay is number 4 on that list. So it's really important. And on its own, it's not going to rescue a lousy transcript, and it's not going to make up for things that the colleges want that you don't have, but it can really help. And colleges don't ask you to submit things that aren't important to them. So it's very important. And the word I like to use is it's an opportunity. The college essay is an opportunity to show admissions counselors a piece of you that they wouldn't otherwise see. Every time your child's asked to write something, look at it like an opportunity. Explain to your child that it's an opportunity rather than a burden. And that's a good place to start. So it's really important. And as it gets more competitive, so does the essay, more important. So what are the best and worst college essay topics? We get asked about topic all the time. Parents, students, teachers, everybody wants to know what are the best and worst college essay topics. And our answer to that is it's the same thing. There is no best topic and there is no worst topic, but there is a best subject. The college essay is not about the topic. It's about the student who's writing it. So the best way to approach it is to focus on the student. Your child's task is to answer a prompt with a story that is reflective and demonstrates something insightful, something that's important to your child. The topic is secondary, but the subject is critical. So any topic will do, and sometimes the most mundane stories really, really resonate. So Kim Bryant, who's the Assistant Director of Admissions for the University of Michigan, says that students talk ad nauseum in great detail about their sports injuries, but she doesn't say they shouldn't write about them. And far too often, I hear students tell me that their high school counselors tell them not to even reflect on a sports injury. And I'm going to tell you, that is nonsense. Your child can write about anything they want to write about. Kim Bryant says she wants to know, what did you learn from that sports injury? If you could not do your sport any longer, what is it you would focus on? And then Jim Cotter, who is a legendary admissions director who's since moved on to another job, says, I don't think we ever say don't write about a certain topic, whether it be summer camp or athletic experiences, but we do see a lot of those, and there is a real common trap. The trap is to write about the event. You don't have a lot of time or a lot of words to explain in a personal statement or essay what you want to say. If you spend all your time talking about one singular event, we don't know a lot about you as a student. So the answer to the question, what are the best and worst college essay topics, is in the answer. It's in Jim Cotter's statement. It's that just write a reflection on any topic you want. Anything will do. And as long as your topic answers the prompt and shows something meaningful, it'll do. It'll be effective. And I know I make it sound simple, but it really is as simple as that. So there's no best or worst topic. The question is why? Why is that topic so meaningful to you? And more important is a reflection on any topic. So the best, I'm going to go back to this for 1 second, guys. So the worst essays, the worst topics do not illustrate a trait and they don't answer the prompt. And the best illustrates a positive trait and also answers the prompt. So Sean Felton, the director of undergraduate admission at Cornell University, basically says this: so many students don't answer the prompt that if all you do is answer the question you're being asked, your essay will stand out. Hope that helps. Okay. WOW's top 5 list, number 3. What do admission counselors look for? What's the secret? So the secret is that there's no secret. There's no simple, perfect way. There's no one way. But what admission counselors look for, a few things. They look for personal, genuine, authentic stories about the student who's applying to that school. They want to know what your child wants to tell them. Like I said earlier, it's an opportunity each time. There's no secret. Columbia University wants to know, we want to know you can think. We believe our freshman comp class can teach you how to write, but what we really want to know is how you can think. So you should tell your child that at Columbia University, that's all they want to know. They're not looking for perfect grammar. They're not looking for something that's going to win a Pulitzer Prize or anything like that. They're not looking for something to sound professional like your favorite author, right? They don't want you to get caught in this, quote, what do they want to hear trap? Because the essay is about what your child wants to say. There's no code to crack. It helps round out the application, puts a real human personality to your child's application. University of California, Berkeley's former Vice Chancellor of Admission, Amy Jarrett, she used to tell me that she wants the students to look at it like this. Her question would be, what would you tell me if I were with you in an elevator and you wanted to come to my college? So that's what they look for. A story that's going to round out the application. A story that's going to show them something about you that they couldn't possibly know from reading the rest of your application. It's extra credit. There's no secret. That's it. There's no way to shortcut it. Well, top 5, number 4. This we get asked a lot too. So mom and dad, message to you is don't get too close. You gotta have a healthy respect. Put down that red pen. How will colleges know if I, quote, fix my child's essay? The voice is different. They can spot patterns if you do, or if somebody else does. We hear that all the time from admissions people, that the essays are so sanitized from so much editing that they can't recognize your child in the story. And that isn't going to help them. It might not match the application. I can tell. I'm going to share a story with you about a student named David. And I was working with him on all of his application essays. And he sent me a revision for one of his essays. And it didn't sound like him anymore. The beginning was okay. And then right in the middle of his essay, there was a whole bunch of verbiage that just didn't fit. It didn't sound like it. The essay was divided into 2 different writing voices styles. And I said, David, what is this? This doesn't sound like you. He goes, no, I was having a hard time. That's much better. Like, my writing's not good. This is much better. I said, David, who wrote that? And it took a while, but eventually he told me his father had written the part that I had told him to remove. So the message to you is, you're just going to make it bad because it won't sound like your child. And the whole idea is that colleges get to see how your child thinks, and you may think you know, but none of us know what's inside of our child's head when they're sitting down and going to write. So colleges can recognize different voices in the essay if a paragraph sounds different from another, if there are words that children don't use, or if an adult is trying too hard to sound like a student. They can tell. And the other message that I've been talking about a lot lately is that, think of it this way. You love your children, and all you want to do is help them. If you take your child's essay, write a little bit of it, tell your child to change it, tell them what to write, they're only getting one message from you. And that message is, I'm not good enough. Think of it that way. And because you love your children and all you want to do is help them, try to understand the negative connotation from trying to help, because you're going to hurt them in one way or another. Will it hurt your child? They might lose an opportunity, they might not, but it doesn't matter because you want to help them. And making them feel bad won't help them. The goal is to help them so that the college can get to know your child, not you. My voice doesn't sound like a 17-year-old voice, and nor does yours. And our fifth on our list is, what are the do's and don'ts for parents when it comes to the college essay? So this is a good question to wrap it up and then take some questions. Do help your child parse the prompts. And in my book, I parse all the Common App prompts and they're updated. So you can help them with that and discuss what they mean and what colleges want. You can brainstorm ideas with your child, but you need to stop if you feel the need to tell them which idea is best or put the ideas in their head. You can pull ideas out of them, but don't fill their heads with your ideas. You can provide a brief overview of the essay's significance within the admissions process, and please use the word opportunity whenever possible. You can share a positive trait you see in your child to start a conversation. Is your child resilient? Is your child a go-getter? Is your child really shy? Your child hardworking, doesn't give up? Is your child resourceful? Certainly express what you've noticed when you're having a conversation with your child. And for sure, most important, stay positive and offer encouragement. Your job is to be a cheerleader, not a coach, not a teacher, not a mentor, but you are the cheerleader. Rah, rah, rah. Please don't tell your child which prompt to select, despite what you may have heard, despite all the noise outside that you hear. Mute it, because colleges, if they have 7 prompts, there's 7 prompts on the Common App, and there's no college in this country that cares which one your child picks. No one is going to work better than another, and your child should pick the one that resonates, not the one that everybody thinks is the one that's going to work. Don't tell your child which trait you think colleges prefer in prospective students, because there isn't one. Again, you're going to hear a lot of outside noise. There's not one trait they're looking for in the application essay. Don't tell your child what to write, which topic you think will work best, or which words to use. And don't say the essay doesn't matter or that admissions officers don't read them. You don't want to be discouraging or negative, and you certainly don't want to write a piece of the essay or any of it or edit too much. Okay. So for being here tonight, I have a little gift for you. If you go to wowwritingworkshop.com/free parent book, you can get a free electronic copy of our book. And if you want to purchase a paperback, there's instructions for how you can do that as well. If you have any questions that we can't get to tonight, email me at kim@wowwritingworkshop.com. We are accepting students for this season still. We're getting really busy now that school is out in some places, and it's about to be out in others, and we fill up really quickly, but we're taking students, and we'd love to have you. If you're interested, our students do really well. You can get more information at wowwritingworkshop.com. And let's see now if we have any questions.
Hey, Kim, great. Thank you so much. That was excellent. And I just want to kind of piggyback off what you said. A lot of times students will come to me and they'll say, what is the best prompt for me to write about? And, it's not that colleges prefer, in regards to the Common Application, any of those prompts. There are certainly some prompts that are the most overused. There's some prompts that are the most popular prompts, but parents that are listening, this is one of the hardest essays your child is ever going to write. It requires self-reflection. It requires self-discovery. And you are literally making a case to an admissions panel that you are in the ground, that your child has really shaped themselves and really does know a lot about themselves. So, I think that you're exactly right. I'm glad that you got pointed on that. We did get a question. We've got a parent that's wanting to know, how do you get started? When is the best time to get started on these essays? and how do you get started? So, Kim, how do you advise your science.
Okay. It's time to get started now. As soon as you're done with the AP test, as soon as you're done for the year, it's time. It's right now. If your child's going to be gone for the summer, it's not too late, but certainly don't want to spend senior year doing everything. So I would say this is a very, very good time to get started. And there was another part of that. How do you get started? Well, the best way to get started is to have your child answer this question.
Oh, okay. I'm
Because
sorry to interrupt. Can you maybe put up your slideshow with your contact information or
I sure can.
there you go.
Okay.
Thanks.
So the way to get started is to answer this question. And in my 10-point list, we have this question in there. But your child's job is to answer this. What is it that I want colleges to know about me that they would never be able to find out from my grades, from my transcripts, from my volunteer jobs, from everything else I do? What is it that I want them to know? And the answer to that question is a trait or a characteristic or multiple traits. It's not an activity. It's not an experience. It's a trait. And that is the best way to get started. Answer that question, and then you look at the prompt. You're going to have to understand it, which is a whole process on its own, but look at the prompt and then find a story that illustrates that trait and also answers the prompt. Don't I make that sound easy, Dale?
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's the best way to get started, is to always ask that question of yourself, your child.
We have another question about learning differences. What do you recommend if someone wants to write about a learning disability or sensitive subjects?
That's a good question. All good questions. We don't think any topic is inappropriate. And generally, if a student wants to write about a learning, again, the focus here is, and it's coming from a parent, the question, so I want to also acknowledge that. If a parent says to me, is it okay for a child to write about a learning disability? Then I'd want to talk to your child and say, do you want to write about your learning disability? Because half the time it's a mom or a dad thinking that if you write about your learning disability, that's going to get you an advantage inside the admissions office. And the truth is, we have no idea. But the student who has a learning disability needs to ask themselves that question: what do I want colleges to know about me? The trait or the characteristic. So what's the trait or characteristic with I have a learning disability? That's a thing. That's an experience. That's something that's going on in your life. So think about the trait or characteristic that you want to illustrate, and then find a story that best shows who you are. And if there's a story that's focused on your learning disability, if that's like the anchor to illustrate the trait, then that's fine. But that's actually never happened in a conversation with someone who said, I want to write about my learning disability. I've been doing this 10 years. And when I ask that question, the person who says that, generally somebody else told that child to write about it because they think it might give them an advantage. And I'm going to disagree with that.
Great.
It doesn't matter. What do you think, Dale?
Anytime someone wants to disclose a learning difference, I always say turn it into a strength. Don't let the learning difference itself be the whole story. So, for example, if a college decides to rule you out because you have a learning, because you have something
Right.
like that, then you weren't meant to go there to begin with. You need to be very proud of who you are and everything that comes with you as a full package. So lead
Right.
with how that learning difference has made you stronger and feel proud about it, and lead with that. And then we'll go ahead and let me ask you this last question.
Okay.
A lot of families are confused with these with these prompts. So can you maybe share, what the difference is between the personal essay and supplemental essays, and how do you know if there's more than one essay required for a college?
Well, first of all, read the instructions, and on the comment, the colleges will tell you. So it's the Common App has 7. Look at the instructions on the Common Application, and you'll be able to follow it and know how many supplements a school has. If you're confused by that, because some of the websites are really confusing, for God, Pete's sake, just contact the school and ask the question. I mean, they're people. They're there for you. They're not celebrities. They're there to answer questions. But colleges give instructions. The Common App has instructions. Everybody has instructions. And the personal statement it's more of a story about you. It's just a question that's asking about you. And the supplements, you're still going to follow the same type of process to write them. But the supplements fall into various categories. That would be a question where they would ask about, why do you want to go to this particular college? That's considered a supplement. And you answer the question. Or what is it that you want to study here? What community is important to you and why? When we're talking about a prompt, so here's what I want to tell you is that they're all looking for reflection in just about any kind of prompt. Some supplements are more direct, but they want you to answer the question. So read the question and answer it. And the difference, I call them all the same thing. They're college essays. There's a personal statement. There's why this college essay. There's an activity essay. They are all questions that the colleges are asking of you, of your child, to strengthen the application, to give them more information, to see how your child thinks. So the personal statement is generally not the place to talk about what you want to do in school or if you want to be a doctor. That's unless the question is, what is it that you want to study or what are your life goals? They want to know who you are and how you got here, not where you're going. And sometimes in the supplements, they may be asking you, well, what do you want to do here? And do you have any goals beyond that? So just answer the question. And I can help you answer any of them, respond to them. So again, I'm going to recommend that you download your copy of the free book because we explain the prompts, all the different kinds of prompts in there. And
yeah, great. And I think that for a general timeline for those families that do have these rising seniors, go ahead and get that main essay completed because after August 1st, many of the supplemental essays are going to be released unless you're applying to the UC system, and pretty much those prompts don't look like they are changing. So you can go ahead and get that. And Kim hit a very good point. You don't want to be working on this in the senior year. You really want to focus on finishing your last school year strong. So anything you can do over the summer is going to be the best bet. And I do want families also to understand that your role, as Kim mentioned, is to help revise, edit, brainstorm. You're not writing these essays, and you are accepting the topic that your child decides to write on. And, I always advise my parents, if you do decide to really stretch too far over this essay, and if you decide to start taking ownership over this essay and influencing the topic and what they need to write about, then if anything does go wrong in the admissions process, it's hard for your child to take responsibility and accountability for what that outcome is because you ended up turning in your work and not the student's work. So wonderful. This is such an important topic because this is a huge component of the application process. And Kim, I want to thank you so much for being present and sharing all of this information with us. As for today's webinar, it'll be saved on our website shortly, accesscollegeamerica.org, and feel free to share this with your friends or family. Lastly, if you know anyone looking for college planning guidance, let me know. Access College America, WOW, is also accepting new clients nationwide, and we use FaceTime, Zoom, and Google Hangouts for guidance with academic planning, career and personality inventories, essay preparation, college list building, and so much more. Don't forget to check us out. This concludes today's webinar. I want to thank families literally from coast to coast for tuning in and listening to Kim Lifton talk about writing these personal essays. You all have a wonderful evening and have a very good night. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dale.